Katy Perry, soon a mother-to-be. It's Teenage Dream. We're 8:36, and we're on time, actually. Mike Barrett from Barrett Insurance Agency, Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, joins us here Tuesday mornings for good policies, and we're still practicing social distancing. Mike, are you out there?
Somewhere where I am, man. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. All right, so folks, Mike checks in with us, and we all know that insurance is a very complex industry, so that's why we call this Good Policies, because there's information you need to know. First off, Mike, things have been loosening up here as far as restrictions go through the state. We asked you last week if you guys could possibly be seeing a future here when you may be opening your doors again. Have we got any updates on that?
Yeah, today is our first day unlocking the doors to the public again. Not a decision that we made quickly. We certainly wanted to go through the process, understand the appropriate protocols that we should be putting in place to protect not only our clients, but especially our employees and staff and ourselves. So we are open today. There'll be a sign on the door, and it will say, "Notice, please read this before entering." And on that notice will include things such as, if you are symptomatic, please reconsider and do not come in. And we also mentioned that we are keeping a social distancing in place of 6 feet, and that while masks are highly recommended, they're not required. But our employees, and including myself, when I'll be back in tomorrow, as I am homeschooling Ethan today, but we'll be wearing masks upon people entering as well, just to make sure we're following all the recommendations. It's so interesting because, when you're an insurance agent, you think about the liabilities, you think about exposures, you think about risks, you think about how to manage those risks. And so we put a lot of thought and consideration into what would be necessary to safely reopen our office to make sure that we're not putting anyone in harm's way.
Well, that's good that you did that. I mean, even here, we were deemed essential, so as Governor Scott was loosening things up, we had to go through basically a health assessment, orientation. We had to sign off on it saying that we had completed it and understood it. And I'm pretty sure that about the same as what the insurance and other industries are doing out there.
Yeah, if you did the VOSHA program where you basically went through the guidance and completed it and have a certificate stating as such, that's what we did as well. Technically every place, and of course we do have a health officer kind of assigned to make sure that they're kind of the supervisor of the day, if you will, to make sure that the office is staying compliant and staying safe and clean and following protocol. So, I have a true expert on that, my wife. She is just, she's going to be good about that today. And then tomorrow I get the assignment, and I'm sure I'll show her proud as well.
Well, this is exciting news for you here. There are a lot of businesses that did not and will not make it through the COVID-19 pandemic. So, again, this is great to hear that you guys are going to be back to more business as usual. Now, a lot of our listeners, Mike, may have concerns about that, and that's okay because they can still conduct business from a distance as well, right?
Yeah, in all honesty, in our industry, with all the technologies that have become available over the numerous years, we have certainly implemented the appropriate things over the past, I'd say, 5 to 7 to 10 years that have enabled us to continue to transact business without requiring that face-to-face. We like the face-to-face, but we can accomplish so much of it by just talking on the phone. We've now introduced, and we haven't really started doing it, but we've brought webcams in so that for those who want to have a face-to-face discussion but maybe don't feel comfortable doing it physically face-to-face, with a free app they can download and chat with us face-to-face. So we can go over and we can share screens and we can go over coverage options and we can really have the same level of dialogue that we would as if somebody was sitting right at our desk. They'll just be sitting at, I guess you can call it our virtual desk. But, you mentioned it many times as kind of the preface of our conversation, that is a complex industry. There's a lot of moving parts, and, we are able to really, in a email form and letter form, address those moving parts and really give people some good comprehension to make good decisions. But sometimes people really just want to have that face-to-face discussion to really nail it down. And we're happy to do that now that we can keep a safe situation at the office.
Listeners, Mike Barrett with us from Barrett Insurance Agency with our weekly chat called Good Policies. Mike, with the very little bit of time that we have left here, we want to remind folks that insurance is not a set it and forget it thing. You always need to go over your coverage. So we encourage our listeners that haven't gone over their policies, gone over the changes in their lives for whatever reason, they need to contact you and do so, right?
Exactly. Anytime you have a milestone in life, that's definitely something to be thinking about. Even things short of a milestone. It's interesting to me how many people change their phone numbers, disconnect their landlines, go cell phone only, or change cell phone providers and change cell phone numbers. You'll see people on Facebook all the time. Hey, I changed phones and lost all my contacts. Well, don't forget, we need to be one of those contacts if we are insuring you, because you want to make it so that we can reach out to you. So we need your email address. We need your cell phone. We need your current mailing address. We need your current physical address. Make it so that we can stay in constant communication when need be, so that we can absolutely, with ease, help you manage and really work through your coverage over time. And milestones such as getting married, getting divorced. Sorry to throw that side by side, but it's a reality of life. If somebody in your life has passed away, there's a million reasons to really think about insurance and make sure that you're not going to be dealt with a surprise when a claim arises if you have in any way, shape, or form failed to keep your policy up to date. And we try our best to make sure that we're helping you, but you need to help us stay in contact with you.
And sorry I jumped on top of you there, Mike, but in another one of those milestones going on right now, the kids are graduating from either high school or college. So if parents or anybody out there has any insurance questions, tell them how they can get in touch with you.
Sure, you can give us a call, 748-5224. Our office is on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury. We're in the same building as Beacon Realty, kind of in the middle there between Beacon Realty and Union Bank, so kind of a nice place to be to find your home, get your mortgage, and get your insurance, I guess, if you want to. And we are open. Just please read that notice before you come in. You can find us online, thebarrettagency.com, where you can get a free online quote for home or auto, and you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Google, Barrett Insurance Agency.
Another thing we can do, Mike, is encourage those that have any insurance questions to contact you with those, and we could bring it up as one of our topics of discussion weekly.
Anytime. We would encourage anybody to have ask us to bring a question to air that we could answer and go through. If there's something that you think would be beneficial, we'd be happy to do it.
All righty, Mike. Thanks an awful lot. The best to Ethan, best to the missus. And we hope that your schooling goes well today and that your schooling of Ethan does too. And we look forward to our chat next week.
Yes, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm known as the substitute teacher, and I wish it was just my wife that called me that, but apparently my son's school teacher thinks that too. So I have to follow the plan.
Well, that's a happy, healthy family right there. Mike, be safe. We'll chat with you next week, okay?
Stay well.
All right. Barrett Insurance Agency and Good Policies, part of Magic in the Mornings roundup here on Tuesdays. Music from Meghan Trainor on the way.